Hi, I'm Coleen Sews and Chats. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be working on a pattern by Lisa Capen. She's doing a Quilt As You Go Christmas Quilt Along. This is the first block. I start out by taking a picture of my fabrics in black and white so I can choose my light, medium, darks for my pattern. And then I iron them. And I use Best Press in a misting bottle. Sometimes I have to unscrew the top and adjust it. I think it has something to do with the air that gets in the bottle when I'm spraying. Not all the time, just occasionally. And I'm using my Lisa mini iron. And I won't be doing the quilt as you go part of this pattern. And I'm doing it in Halloween fabrics because I'm excited to see how that turns out. So as soon as the ironing's done, let's get started. I begin cutting by first getting my straight squared edge, and I do this when I fold my fabric. I line the fold up at the bottom and the other edge up at the top. This happens to be a back quarter, I think, so it's starting just at the end, getting me a straight edge there, and then I will cut off from that. I always have the one in the top right corner where the ones meet on the ruler. I'm constantly spinning my rulers. I should put a mark there of some kind. So I've gotten my straight edge to begin with, and I'm ready, lining up the left side on my lines and cutting across. And then I'm going to subcut that after I get this wrinkle out that's going to drive me nuts. I subcut this to the measurements. Oh, wait, I almost skipped a step. I need to get a straight edge here, so I'm lining up the top and the bottom straight lines that I just made so I can get a straight cut on the end. Now I'm going to cut the size, and I won't be giving you any sizes. This is not my pattern. This is Lisa Capen's pattern, and as I've mentioned, her links will be hopefully in the cards when I'm done, and if this is a premiere, they'll be in the chat, and below in the description box I will also put the links in the first comment, so hopefully you can find them. Now I will say that she uses one of the eighths measurements. Don't be afraid. And go watch her video. She does a great job explaining how to find that on your ruler. And I did watch her video at the time of this videoing. It was last Friday, October 7th, I believe. I had to recut this piece because I wasn't looking for the eighths like I should have been when I cut it. So I need 4 of these rectangles, and I'm using my light fabric. I have a problem with corners. Where they meet, for some reason, I'm always fighting them because I don't want to cut far into my fabric. I should just give it up and do that. And then I'm just being tidy by refolding that. And I'm subcutting this one. Lining up my fabric on the 3 sides that are straight with the measurement I need. And that side wasn't quite straight, so I flipped it around so I could straighten it. And my dark fabric, I am also getting a straight edge on that. This was a new piece of fabric, so it's cut how I bought it at the store, which is never straight. Okay, not never straight. I have gotten some very straight ones from small stores. This was the piece of fabric I bought at Walmart. And I have a haul video for that if you want to check that out. And then I realized I didn't cut in far enough, so I need to make this cut again to get all the layers of fabric straight. I'm lining up on the fold with my large ruler, the square one from Missouri Star, and then with my Omni Grip by Omni Grid. It's the length I need it to go all the way across. That way I can make one cut. And this is folded salvage to salvage, then folded in half. Again, fold to salvage. That's how I fold my fabrics, and I can't remember who showed me that. I do remember it was the lady on Point TV on YouTube. She did a brilliant job showing how to fold the fabrics and cut them. It worked great for my brain. And out of this fabric, I only need one square, and then we'll do our subcuts. Actually, then we'll get the medium fabric. Sorry about the shaking camera. I get carried away and smack things. If you don't know that about me, you do now. And I'm refolding it because I'm fussy like this. It says David Textiles on it. The quality of this piece felt just like the next one I'm getting ready to cut, which is a Hoffman. I don't have my notes. All links will be below if I can find them. It was last year's. And I'm trimming this down to the size I need. Count twice, cut once. Count 4 or 5 times if necessary, and cut once. I've made cutting mistakes more than once. This is the Hoffman from last year. Glow in the dark. And I'm lining my Missouri Star ruler up. No, I am not an affiliate. No, I do not have any affiliate links. I just use what works for my head and my eyes. And the Missouri Star ruler is easier for my eyes to focus on. So I'm butting my Omni Grip ruler up against the Missouri Star once I have it lined up so I get a straight edge. And getting my first cut out of this. Then I will make the other cuts needed. Lining up my edge. And I'm just going the whole length. I don't need the whole length. I really didn't want to cut off a little bitty piece of that because I'll use this as scrap in a scrap block, we hope. So I've got straight edges at the top and bottom that I'm following, and I'm creating the straight edge from that, squaring this up by cutting that one. Then I turn it around so I have my 3 straight edges to follow, top, bottom, and left, to make my cut on the right. For seasoned quilters, you all probably already know all of this, how to line your fabric up and stuff. I didn't. When I started, I didn't know, and I haven't been doing this long. And that's one of the things I have to keep telling myself, line it up, line it up. And sometimes I will cut a little bit bigger so I can trim it down so I'm sure I'm getting those straight edges. Again, I'm not giving away cutting instructions. Lisa Capen did a wonderful job with her instructions and her diagram, in my opinion. My brain liked it, and that's all I can speak for. Try it. Maybe your brain will like the way she works too. Yeah, I'm a little bit dorky this morning. I've had too much coffee. It's the morning here when I'm taping this. So now I'm putting all my fabrics away, my big pieces, and I'm going to subcut all of these pieces, have some diagonal cuts to do, and Lisa's pattern explains that. And these will be part of the flying geese we're going to make later. I'm going to call it the base of the flying geese, the center part. And these will be one side of the wings. I was not working smarter here. I was working harder. I'm lining my plate up where I want to start the cut on the point, and then moving my ruler to it kind of, and lining the other side up from that. That's not the way to do it. It takes me a little bit to realize that I was not doing it the smart way, and this is the smart way. I put the tip, line it up with my mat, and then I put the other tip in line with the other side of my mat, and then I line my ruler up with that line. Easy peasy. Use the grid on your mat. And we're gonna start plain puzzle pieces, getting them all laid out like the diagram shows on the pattern. Get the flying geese centers, and then set up the triangles for the wings. And this is the first time I've made the flying geese this way. It was really easy. And we're just about ready to start the sewing. Oh, I almost forgot, sorry. I drew lines because these are going to be snowballed onto the rectangles. So I just used my friction pen on the wrong side of the fabric, drew a line corner to corner. Now these fabrics are tossed, so there's not really a direction to them, and I probably wouldn't fuss too much about that if there was. Now I'm putting them where I need to sew them on, so when I take them over to my sewing machine, I'm prepared. Let's go to the sewing machine. I watched Lisa Capen put this block together. It's her design. I'm just making it, so I'm not giving away any measurements or anything, but I will put links to her video on it and to her pattern underneath, and possibly stick them in cards. I'm not sure yet. We'll know when we get there. And the first thing she says, let's get the camera over here where you can see what I'm doing. Flip this side over, and you want the tip hanging off the top. So I line it up here and line it up here. I'm going to do that on all of them. I'm going to take a peek because it felt like it was slipping on me. There we go. And I'm going to chain piece all these and do all 4 pieces. This side. This quilt along Lisa has is a Christmas themed one, and you can use it in any fabrics you want, though. I'm pretty sure she says that. I saw this block and thought I would love it in my Halloween fabrics that I'm doing. And do a whenever this is too loud. And before I take those off, because I want to keep piecing, I'm going to, I don't know what she calls these corners, but I heard them referred to as snowballed corners. And I'm going to go right on the line of these, right where I drew the line. I'm lining my drawn line with this, and you can use seam tape, which I have. I just like this better at the moment, and I'll change my mind and I'll go back to the other one, I'm sure. Corner to corner. Even if I have the seam tape, I draw the lines because I'm a chicken. Lining up. Whoops. Make sure the corners over here are lined up. Keep going. Let go. One more. Oh goodness, I'm just a little bit crooked today. Come on. I'm a little bit crooked every day, but all right. Hopefully I do better on this one than I have my other ones. I'm sewing at an angle, so that's an adjustment. And got all these chain pieced here. Oops. I will take them off and probably move the camera. I'm just using the thread cutter that came on my machine to cut all these chains. Whoops. I forgot what I was doing. I've noticed I say I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it a lot. It's usually not true. I may not know what I'm doing, and if I know why I'm doing, I keep it to myself. Because I'm goofy like that. I'm going to cut off all the excess at a 1/4 inch. Line my ruler up on the 1/4 inch line. I don't think you can see that. It's the longer line right there. That is the 1/8 quarter. Very easy. No time like the present to learn where the 1/8 is on your ruler or on your measuring tape. I haven't come across anything that gets me in 1/16 to do with sewing yet, so yay for that. And if I did, I would probably skip it. No, it's really not that hard. Okay, I know my iron is warmed up by now, so let's move this. Whoops. I know there are people who save these, and heaven love you for it. I'm not. This is how I transform my cutting board into, ta-dam, dorking it up today, aren't I? Ironing board. And whoops, I think the boots are getting carried away. Set the seams. I just like to lay them all out. I'm not smushing. Sometimes I smush. Let's be honest. Sometimes I smush. You're not supposed to. My wrist gets twitchy and I smush. Just set the seams. Relaxing those threads, I believe, is what I've heard it's doing. And then I gently get this back. I let the edge of my iron take that back for me. I could also, see if that'll stay there, finger press it, which would be opening it. I believe these are on the bias because they feel very stretchy, I'm sure Lisa said. Like I said, she did a video. She's very good at what she does. Lisa Capen. I don't know if I said that. That's kind of rude. Okay. Actually, get my fancy clapper. Y'all know I'm being sarcastic. That's a cutting block. My husband downsized for me. I'd like to do this all in real time because to show you that it doesn't take long. Setting the seams. Then I put back a little bit and I let the edge of my foot right here. See if I can turn one of those. You can finger press it first. I'm not pulling it, I'm just moving it. At least today that's what I'm doing. I might be pulling it tomorrow. Please do not pull on your fabrics. Or do you do you. I've heard the quilt police aren't going to show up, and trust me, if they were going to show up, they'd be here. And the orange fabrics that I'm using are glow in the dark. I think they were Hoffman. They are last year's. These are from Walmart. These are Hoffman. I'd have to look at the salvage again to see what these are. And if I can remember, I will put that in here somewhere. I know it's either from the beginning of the year or last year's line. Now let's shut my iron off so I don't burn myself yet again. We're not going to talk about how many times I burned myself with that thing. And we're going to go, whoops, let's get these set back up. I had intended to use the darkest color because there's a dark, medium, light color. I had intended to use the darkest color where the light is, and the light where the darkest color is, and I forgot what I was doing, and I just cut them like I didn't have a clue. Now I could trim all of these off, and I can't remember if Lisa did or not, but I'm not going to right now. And these, since I've got the camera over here, I'm going to show it over here. I'll line up again. Oops. Yay, I've got a view. Whoops. I say whoops a lot. I'm going to line these up with my dark fabric here and here, and it'll go over the top a little, just like that other one did. I'm not going to get too finicky about getting them, I say that as I'm scratching here and picking at this, about getting them in the exact right place, because I know when I go to my sewing table desk, it's going to move a little on me, and I'll have to resituate it before I even get sewing. But I'm going to chain piece these, then take a look at Lisa's diagram and see what I do next. I looked over the pattern a couple times, That's a very good suggestion I have heard from other people. Look over the pattern a couple times before you start the pattern. So you have it going in your head what you need to do, so you're not skipping steps. So I've got these set up to go sew again. I'm going to get my 1/4 inch right here, and these will open up, and we'll have some flying geese. And then and I'm starting on this side over here because the other side, my machine will want to eat that tip. And I can use leaders and I can use enders, just a plain old piece of fabric. It still figures out how to eat these tips. It's the speed. If I go slow, it wants to eat fabrics. If I go fast, it doesn't. I can't go fast at this particular angle. So I've got my geese right sides together. Whoops. Don't need to be that close to me, do ya? The excess. Let's go to the top. Down here before I mess it up too much. I'll readjust it after I get it under the foot. Line it. It's shifted a little bit on me. I got it. Line it up. Let it go. If you get worried that your fabric is twisting on you, take a peek. Nope, still lined up. Oops. I'm going to try to show you that. The worst I'm going to do. I'm excited to make flying geese like this. I don't remember doing it before. That doesn't mean I haven't done it. That just means that I'm getting old. And that's not information my brain chose to hang on to. Line it up, let it ride. I've got the chains with the thread cutter that's on my machine. We're back at my ironing / cutting table couch. Don't judge. I'm going to get these ironed, look at my diagram, and set up for the next step. Set the seams. I'm going to run my nail on this. It seems to flatten it better. Get it back and then press it. I don't know if you can see on my plate. What's that? That's the tab. Give a little nudge over. That's what I'm going to start calling it. I'll probably forget. Set the seam and nudge over. And aren't those adorable so far? I'm sorry, that was my squeaky voice. I am going to trim these. I should watch and see if Lisa did it, but I am going to trim those because it's going to drive me a little bit crazy. It's my brain. I'm always feeling this because since my mat goes over it. I don't want it to warp my mat. Cool. I could easily go through and just do the dog ears like that. My brain doesn't want to do that right now. It wants the help of the ruler. I love this block. It is so simple. After all those skill builder blocks that I was doing, that, by the way, I lost the footage for when my hard drive blew up. I was doing all the thinking on the fly for those. I needed something that someone else has done the thinking for me on. But I don't think I can commit to the entire. Just a tad further over than the other. Let's see. I'm going to. That was my fault. And I thought, you know what? I know this is intended to be a Christmas sew along, and I may decide to do more with her. But my brain can handle this one right here. The rest I will just watch in awe. I was thinking I need to look at my Pat Sloan blocks that I have. There may be one in there that I want to do for the Halloween. Okay, I got all my dog ears off. These make great bench scrapers if you can stand the noise. I know some people can't stand the noise. Now, I'm going to take a look at my diagram and see where I need to go with these. Move these out of the way. It's like a puzzle. Point down, point up. Point left, point right. Okay. No, that makes more sense. Oh, that is just going to be cute. And these, I want to continue the fabric. That's easy to remember. Oh my goodness. I am in love with this. Now we're going to do this side, then this side. This side, and this side. And I should get my clips because I put a clip on the side I want to sew down, so I make sure not to sew the wrong side. You'd think it would be easy between here and the whole 2 feet it is to my sewing area. My brain gets distracted. Let's see. I think I'll do that. And I'll try to watch. I'm going to cut this out. Try to keep that intersection right there where my threads meet. So I'm going to sew with it on top so I can keep an eye on it. And I'll have to make sure this is not going up on me as I sew. So I'll rearrange these because I know I'm so. We try to escape. We'll talk about that later. We won't talk about that later. Anyway, I know I'm sewing across the tips of all of these. And I'll be careful to keep those. So let's head back over to the sewing machine. See if I can do this in 5 minutes because I have to leave. And like magic, we're back over at the sewing machine. I could draw a line and just follow the line down, but I'm going to live life on the wild side and see if I can't eyeball it. I'm not one to freak out terribly about losing the tips of my geese yet. Maybe someday I'll be that level. I'm not right now because I know I am still learning. Okay. Really think I should have pinned this. Line it up, let it go. And then slow down because we don't have to flop up on us. And it's trying desperately to. So just to the right side of that intersection I was trying to avoid losing my tips with. Not caring so much for my wild and crazy ways, sewing over intersections. We'll chain piece the 4 of these, and then we'll put them together like a 4 patch. And now I'm finger pressing. When I'm doing this, I'm thinking to the path of least resistance. They want to go one way, so that's the way I'm pressing them. Happens to be to the light side, really. Giving them a finger press. Spoiler alert, I forgot to hit record when I sewed this 4 patch together. Sorry. I'll get better. I promise. Okay, that might be a lie, but I'll try. How's that? That's how it's going to be sewn together. And make sure you trim your flying geese to Lisa's specs. So I've got the 4 patch together. Just give it a fast iron and this block is finished. I think it's beautiful. I love it in these colors. Don't forget to visit Lisa, check out her channel, check out her quilt along. You may want to join. Everybody, have a great day. Be the light you hope to see in others. Be kind. Talk to you later.